All right, greetings everybody and welcome. It is 7 o'clock straight up Eastern Standard Time. It is 2 a.m. in Kyiv, Ukraine. And as I promised you guys, we had a feeling, not that I was not promising a strike, but the information was there that one was coming. So I told you guys that we would be covering it if something large happened, and there was no way we could not. So I threw a message out there to the mods real quick, and they jumped in. And I want to say thank you. Thank you, everyone, for jumping in, that you care about Ukraine, because right now they're under a massive, massive strike. And it's really interesting, to be quite honest, because 7 hours ago, President Zelensky was talking about, was thankful there were no missile or drone strikes against Ukrainian infrastructure today. That was a direct statement from President Zelensky. So I think he was trying to be hopeful and push the message out there that, you know, we're making it here. And that is due to the Donald Trump statement of January the 29th. So I'm just letting everybody kind of hop in here, and then we're going to review, and then I'm going to take you through the strikes that are happening right now and what we know as of right now. We can definitely confirm that this is a big one. This is targeting infrastructure, and I will tell you and show you what cities have been hit and what is also on the way. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. You know, and it's just a terrible thing to say. You never want to say, thank you for liking, this. I don't like it, but when you like it, it helps us get the news out. Thank you there, Petra, giving that Swedish non-smoking initiative. Thank you already, Petra. With love to Ukraine. And I know it's late at night there, or early morning in Sweden. It's 12 midnight here in Ireland, I see Frank saying. So I'm just going to talk to you guys in the chat. I'm going to watch the chat. The mods are in here working, and I'm going to update you. So thank you for being here. Let's jump in it. And I will repeat these videos in a little while. But the reality is this is very disappointing, although expected. This is disappointing, yet expected. And I think President Zelensky was really trying to do his best to stem the tide. I remind you that as of right now, there are scheduled negotiations on Wednesday, February the 4th. So in 2 days from now. Will this change it? I do not know. So thank you guys. I see you jumping in here, and hello to Denmark. Hello to Germany. Anyway, let's jump straight in. So I want to lay the story out for you guys, and I literally decided to go live 15 minutes ago. I sent a message to the moderators in our Discord channel, and if you haven't joined the Discord, the link's in the description. Please do so. Love to have you in there chatting with us. But I've been talking about this on the regular update videos for 3 days now, and I even put a community post up an hour ago. And I just said, okay, we have to talk about this right now because it's happening right now. So I want to go back first to January the 29th, and then I'm going to update you guys on all the strikes that are taking place and what's in the air. And it's extremely significant. And we'll go to maps and all that, but I want to lay the timeline out first. So January the 29th, January 20, 30, 31, 1, 2, yeah, January 29th. So 4 days ago, this was President Trump's statement, and I want to play this one first. Well, this was January 30th. Here we go. Just listen.
And I personally asked President Putin not to fire into Kiev and the various towns for a week. And he agreed to do that. And I have to tell you, it was very nice. A lot of people said, don't waste the call, you're not going to get that. And he did it, and we're very happy that they did it.
Well, first of all, let me explain. When he says a week, that means 7 days. And that's when Dmitry Peskov came out from the Kremlin and said, no, it's going to be until February the 1st, which was basically 3 days. Okay. Linda S. from Australia, thank you for gifting those 10 memberships. And it's nice to see you in here on Aussie time. So that is Phil Hinsey pulled over on the shoulder of the highway. Come on, Phil. Thank you so much. And glad you're being safe. Kevin Whitfield, thank you. Keep up the great work, you and Prof. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. But man, pulling off on the side of the highway. Okay, now, that was just a few days ago. So that was supposedly in the mind of the Americans, and I will say Donald Trump, 1 week, which is 7 days, which would have lasted until February the 5th. Now, I knew something was up when the negotiations were supposed to happen right now, but Dmitriev went to Miami. So I'm telling you stuff we've updated you on, and I'm going to get you to these strikes that are happening right now. So something was weird there. So we have that statement. Now I have to come up to today, and just a few hours ago, so it's 7:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Fox News clip I'm using, I think, has the timestamp on it of 4:40. So we're under 3 hours ago. So this is the statement from today. The statement from today, right now.
There's tremendous hatred between Zelensky and Putin. Tremendous hatred. I mean, it's a shame, but it's taken longer than we thought. I did call up President Putin, and he's agreed. He's put it out to. They have the same cold wave that we do. Maybe different because it's pretty far away, but it's the equivalent. And Ukraine's a very cold country. It's much colder than us. It's colder than, they say, on average, it's Canada or colder. And on top of that, they have a tremendous cold wave. And I asked him if he wouldn't shoot for a period of 1 week, no missiles going into Kiev or any other towns, and he's agreed to do it. So it's something.
Okay. It's important that you understand this. This was 3 hours ago. Once again, reiterating that he called Putin and Putin agreed. And did you hear closely? No missiles into Kyiv or other cities. And he agreed to it. He even put it out there like, I don't know what that is. He didn't put anything out there. Peskov came out and said, no, on February the 1st, we're going to be free to do what we want. Okay, so that's what we have. There was one more statement, and here it's has the timestamp on it, just from a couple of hours ago. I want to lay these statements out here, and then we'll get into it.
In that war, ridiculous.
Let me back that up. Let's do this.
I think we're doing very well with Ukraine and Russia. For the first time, I'm saying that. I think we're going to maybe have some good news. We're losing 25,000 people a month are being killed in that war, ridiculous war. 25,000. It was 31,000 last month. Think of it. Young, beautiful kids, the kids of parents, their parents. It doesn't affect us in one way, but in another way, it's 25,000 souls that if I can solve it, we're not spending money like Biden did. He gave $350 billion away. I make everyone pay. And the United Nations, they're a little bit involved, but if you take a look at what's happening, the countries of Europe are paying us for the weapons.
Okay, so you saw the timestamp yourself, upper left-hand corner, 4:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That statement was 2.5 hours ago. When that statement happened, and this is very interesting, when the statement that he made Putin, it was in the same press conference, he reiterated, and then that statement, and you saw the Fox News subtitle, things are going very well in Ukraine, going very well. We're almost there. It was at the same time when this attack started. Now, I'm not saying it was on purpose and, Putin's over there waiting for a press conference to say, go boys. No, but it's definitely interesting. So now let me catch you guys up. Here in short is what's happening. So far, 12 missiles have already struck the city of Dnipro. I will show you this on a map in just a moment. There are already power outages in the city of Dnipro. There are large fires in Dnipro. There are shaheeds, or what the Russians call geraniums. There are fabs, the glide bombs. Let me get that one right there. Dunk on you. Thank you, brother. I'm trying to keep up with all of it, guys. Thank you, first of all, Dunk, for being a great mod, and for the super chat. Chatting with my friends in Kamyansky, they're under attack. Slava Ukraini. Yes, they are right now. And I'll show all of this on the map. I'll even show where Kamyansky is. But at that time, shaheeds and some initial ballistic missiles flew into Kyiv as well. And a thermal power station was hit. I'll show you all of this. On top of that, the first attack actually started in Kharkiv. So, laying out the timeline, approximately 6 hours ago, President Zelensky, doing right. I'm not getting down on Zelensky. This is what he should be saying. He was telling the truth. As of 6 hours ago, there were no missile or drone strikes against infrastructure today. And then 4 hours ago, and you guys know the issues going on with Iran, Zelensky chimed in and stood with the European Union, designating the Iranian Revolutionary Guard as a terroristic organization. And then we started getting the messages. So when the messages come from the analysts I follow and trust, that are military guys, they start to talk about, we're picking up chatter on the comms. So the Ukrainians are listening to the chatter. You guys know as well as I know, Ukraine is listening to Russia. Russia is listening to Ukraine. Everybody knows what's going on, but they pick up the chatter, meaning it looks like we're starting to get activity with the bombers. And then they'll notice movement of the bombers. But see, yesterday, the planes already moved, and I shared that. Let me do this here. So yesterday, the planes located way out in, I think this is Ukrainka out here, relocated up to the base here, and then relocated down to the base here. But that wasn't all of the planes, but a majority of those bombers. They look like this right here. I've been showing this image for 2 days. Chatter about the second to the third, and here we are, the second to the third. So these strategic bombers. Now, these guys relocated, and go back to that image. What happens then is Ukraine will begin to pick up chatter. Radio communication, comms, seeing the planes move, knowing that they're loaded. So we've known that all of these planes are loaded. In fact, I've got it here. So tonight loaded 8 Tupolev 95 bombers that have 24 X-101 missiles, 4 missile carriers from the Black Sea with 24 caliber class missiles, 20 Iskander M missiles were loaded, 14 Iskander K missiles were loaded, 3 Tupolev 160s were loaded with up to 12 X-101s, and 10 MiGs with up to 10 Dagger missiles. They carry the one missile under the bottom of the MiG-31, which is the hypersonic missile. So all of that loaded. That's what we were dealing with, and this chatter. Then the information started to come out that these planes were taking off. And it was immediately after that, just a couple of hours ago, that Kharkiv started to get hit. Now, let me take you here and show you where it started. Let me zoom us in here and take that off. I'm going to use, this is the Institute for the Study of War map I'm going to use for this. I may use a couple other maps tonight as well. But so the first strikes tonight were taking place in the city of Kharkiv, which is right here. Now, Kharkiv, as you know, is right on the border of Russia. So it can be struck. It doesn't need aviation like these bombers to take off. It can be struck from ground-based missiles. It can be struck from glide bombs where, aircraft is still flying way over here deep in Russian territory, and sometimes, 90 or 100 kilometers, and it'll drop the glide bombs into Kharkiv or wherever else it's attacking. But tonight, Kharkiv was struck with Tornado S systems. So 5 Tornado S systems were striking Kharkiv, and I think I can show you guys. Let me do this. I think I can show you this right here. So you see this power plant right here? I'm going to zoom out in just a second. This is the electrical substation, and this is geolocated, was hit with 5 Tornado S rocket systems tonight. Now I will zoom out, and I think I'll just go to a regular map for you here, and you can see where we're at. We're in Kharkiv. Right in the center of Kharkiv is where this was hit. Additionally, another substation was hit in Kharkiv. Let me get that one for you. Let's do this right here. You can see all of the power infrastructure here. This substation unit was hit, and we'll pull back and see where this is located in the city of Kharkiv. Okay, this is over in the industrial region. Okay, so basically, so far in the original attacks, and you remember the other one was right here. I'll do this. We've had electrical infrastructure hit here in Kharkiv and here. So we're already getting large fires, and they were also struck by cabs. So the glide bombs came in. So that's what happened. Now, after that, Dnipro came under attack. Let me take this off. Let's go back to here. Let's take that off. I need a better marker system. All right. So Kharkiv was hit first, and then I'm going to go to the latest in just a moment. I just want to catch you up. And if you're just joining us on this live, before I do that, let me say thank you for being here. This is breaking. This is a really, really big strike on Ukraine tonight. And it's so sad. I see many, many more people in here. Let me just play this clip one more time. This is what was stated just 2 hours ago. This was stated 2 hours ago. Well, let me be completely fair. 2.5 hours ago, this was stated.
There's tremendous hatred between Zelensky and Putin. Tremendous hatred. I mean, it's a shame, but it's taken longer than we thought. I did call up President Putin, and he's agreed. He's put it out too. They have the same cold wave that we do. Maybe different because it's pretty far away, but it's the equivalent. And Ukraine's a very cold country. It's much colder than us. It's colder than, they say, on average, it's Canada or colder. And on top of that, they have a tremendous cold wave. And I asked him if he wouldn't shoot for a period of 1 week, no missiles going into Kiev or any other towns, and he's agreed to do it. So it's something.
Okay, so that's the statement that we had 2.5 hours ago, and we see now that the reality of that is completely different. So let me continue with updating you back to the map here, and then I'll give you the latest because there are airplanes now confirmed in the air coming to the strike lines. So first, Kharkiv was hit right here. We talked about that, and I showed it to you on the map. After that, Dnipro was hit with missiles, and these missiles are launched many times from down south out of Crimea that come up, and sometimes they're launched like from areas like Berdyansk, and they'll come up. They're ground-based, and they'll strike. They don't have to be air-based. And then, of course, Dnipro easily within reach of glide bombs as well. So then Dnipro. After that, Kyiv was hit. This is what we had. And if I go to the air alarms right now, you can see, and this is right now, there are Shaheeds over Kyiv, and they'll just fly around. If you look here, There are ballistic missiles. That's what that indicates, coming into Kharkiv again. Listen, guys, they're trying to de-energize Kharkiv big time. Remember, on the last attack, Kharkiv was 80% de-energized. It was about a week ago. And I put a video out on it, and you guys can see it if you didn't see it, but it's history now. But it was 80% de-energized Kharkiv. We know the struggles in Kyiv. They're going after it again tonight. So we'll come back to this in just a moment. So let me do this for you, and let me start looking over here on this monitor here. Actually, let me look at the chat, and then I'll do that, because I see a good question in there right here. Do the Russians think they can win the hearts of the Ukrainians when they occupy the country after this? That's a great question, and the answer to that is easy. No, they don't care. They do not care about the hearts of Ukrainians. They're striking hospitals. Even during this ceasefire yesterday, I was talking about, or 36 hours ago, they struck the maternity hospital. And yesterday, Ternivka, they struck the bus with minors. I did another update on that, killed 16 minors. Not soldiers. I had somebody actually message sorry, wrong button. Message and say, oh no, that was a bus full of SBU. I said, okay, whatever. No, it's not SBU. Guys, I tell you the truth, okay? Do you remember 4 or 5 days ago, we had a big strike with Shaheeds on the train? Let's go here. I can show you. It happened right here in this area, okay? South of Kharkiv. It was coming this way. And the Shaheeds hit it. And remember, the number went up. 5 civilians were killed. They struck the locomotive or the engine. The engine. And they struck a carriage or a passenger car. And there was a soldier on board. And he was out helping people. And then the Russian propaganda ran with that, saying it was a train full of soldiers, They will take anything and try to manipulate it at any point and any time. So back to that question, do they think they can win the hearts of Ukrainians? No, they don't. They do not care about the hearts of Ukrainians at all. So let me tell you this right now. We have 4 Tupolev 95s, and I'll zoom back on this here. I'm trying to do all of this live for you, guys. Let's do this. We have okay, so 3 departed earlier from over here in Ukrainka Air Base, coming this way. And 7 departed Olena Air Base, coming this way. Okay, so right now, 10 bombers are in the air. And they will arrive at the launch positions in Saratov about 5:30 a.m. local. So it is 7:24, it's 2:24 a.m. So you have about 3 hours of flight time, and these planes, these bombers will work their way down into Saratov area right here, come this way, and then they will release. So at that point, then the schedule is laid out of when they will enter Ukrainian airspace. Of course, you guys can see the border here. So that's what is happening right now. Just over the last 30 minutes, we have ballistics on Dnipro. We have 3 rockets to Kyiv, explosions in Kyiv. We have launches of Iskanders from Crimea. Remember what I was telling you? They'll launch them from the south. Launches from the south of Iskanders. There is a hypersonic missile right now on the way to BLUESKY. BLUESKY is the city right below Kyiv here. That's as of 18 minutes ago. We have launches out of Bryansk, ground-based launches coming. I'm telling you everything I'm reading right now. And you can see how much is coming. There is a second launch of a hypersonic Zircon, and it's heading towards Cherkasy. And we have multiple rockets that are now located coming through Chernihiv on the way to Kyiv. So I know there's a lot of red, and if you're just joining this live stream and you're jumping on here and go, okay, what is Greg talking about right now? Unfortunately, we have a large-scale attack happening on Ukraine, and yes, it's coming from all angles. I also have, this is coming in from Kyiv. They are expecting, I'm sorry, I'm just reading this, guys. Yeah. So they are expecting the launches of X-22 missiles tonight, and they're not so accurate, but Ukraine has never stopped one of them. They are the missiles that have been responsible for hitting the shopping centers. If you remember early in the war, a shopping center was hit in Kremenchuk, and it made this big story, and everybody could see the missile coming in very slow, and you played it in slow motion. It was a Zircon. I'm sorry, it was an X-22. And this is what we're looking at right now. And for those missiles, if I do this, I can show you where they have a range. Let me do this for you guys. So this is the statement on the X-22s, and they're expecting them from multiple angles. So if you look at the green plane on the top, and I know the border here is hard to see, but it has a radius where it can reach down to Chernihiv, Kyiv, Zhytomyr. This map is in Ukrainian, so I have to translate this for you. And Sumy and Kharkiv. The blue plane can reach Chernihiv, Kyiv, Cherkasy, Sumy, Kharkiv, Poltava. The purple plane can reach Sumy, Kharkiv, Poltava, Dnipro, Zaporizhia. And the orange plane from the bottom, Kryvyi Rih, Zaporizhia, Kropotnivsky, Poltava, and Kharkiv. So they're coming from 4 different angles. And you may ask, if you're just watching for the first time, where do they get all this information from? They have the information. So when they talk about intelligence sharing, and like the United States has been sharing intelligence with Ukraine, this is a lot of the information. Plus, Ukraine has developed their own intelligence systems, of course, and satellites, you name it. But then the partnerships also with European nations. We know that Ukraine gets a lot of their information from, for example, France in their intelligence. Okay. This is coming directly from Kyiv. And they're just telling their people tonight, please get into the shelters, because they're very confident that the X-22 missiles are going to be launched, and they have twice as much capacity to strike, twice as much firepower as standard ballistic missiles that are typically striking Ukraine. Let me do this. I need to catch up really quick. I don't want to pass anybody by. As we said, Petra, thank you for your Swedish non-smoking initiative. Linda S. there in Australia, thank you for gifting your 10 memberships. Johnny Nedregard, my Norwegian island dweller, thank you for your support. Dunk on you. We got you earlier talking about Kamiansky, and thank you for gifting the memberships. 2CQQL1, thank you for becoming a new member on the Hope Train. Blonde Bombsheller in the house is our lead mod, and manager of our Discord world. And if you're here and you've not joined our Discord, I highly recommend it. It's great conversation in there. And Belle Ogilvy gifting 10 memberships. Thank you, Belle, as always. All right. So Russia has targeted the thermal power plant number 4 in the Dnepr district of Kyiv. And in Dnipro, they have targeted the thermal power plant as well. So they have hit quite often. Let me do this. Adam Rounds, thank you for gifting those 5 memberships. I caught you right before I was going back to a map here. Let's do this. Let me go here, and I'm going to pull out of that map, get rid of those coordinates. Let's get all of this good. So I'm going to leave it like, you like that or satellite? I'm going to go back just to the map right now. Okay. So here's Kyiv, and you have 2 of these power plants that they hit, which is number 5 and number 6. And they are located along the river systems here. And I'm not, we can zoom in and show you exactly, but I want to keep clicking and moving here. So it's in central Kyiv, and you guys often hear about, I know most of you know this, but you may not. You hear quite often, especially in regard to Kyiv, the left bank of Kyiv and the right bank of Kyiv. Now, if you're looking at a map, you would logically think, oh, the right's over there and the left's over there. No, it's viewed looking downstream. So the right bank of Kyiv is over on this side, and the left bank is on that side. So if you're looking at a map, excuse me, just remember it's kind of opposite. All right, so these 2 plants have what's been really devastated over the last few weeks with the strikes, but the thermal power plant that they're aiming after, TPP4, is actually located, and I'll show you, over in this region here, on the left bank. I have to even remind myself. It's so hard to think backwards on that. As of 40 minutes ago, and now let's start catching us up on the timeline now. Ballistic missiles with cluster munitions launched at Kyiv. There have been more than 10 explosions in the capital. We have 15 ballistic. Let me zoom out, guys. Let me zoom out because now I'm catching up with the information real time with you. Let's go to the I wonder if I should do that. Let me do this map, because here you can see the occupation. I think that'll work for you. If I click that in one, there we go. Let's do that. Okay. And I'm going to change this to a different color. Let's just, not like that. I'm not. Let's do black for now. All right. So Kyiv, right here, I can tell you 40 minutes ago, 10 explosions in the capital, ballistic missiles with cluster munitions. Dnipro. Dnipro is located down here. This is the city where Duncan Yu was talking earlier about Kamyansky. Kamyansky is on this side of Dnipro. It's like a suburb town. 15 ballistic missiles. And the quote I'm reading right now is, it's hell. We had one of the Zircon missiles came straight up and hit right here on the border between Zhytomyr and Kyiv. All right, we'll see if we can confirm everything. Another Zircon fired from the north, hitting the same spot. I do not have yet what they're targeting there, but it's on the border between Zhytomyr region and the Kyiv region. Okay, I know what it is. Now we know. Okay, so over here is the city of Rivne. Let's do this, and we'll try to keep this map going here. the city of Rivne. This is where one of the nuclear power stations is for Ukraine. In fact, let me do this. Another power station is located in the Khmelnytsky Oblast or region. I will not, zoom in and show it, but it's public information. There's another nuclear power plant in the it's called Southern Nuclear Power Plant. It's down here in this area. And then, of course, everybody knows in Energodar, the famous Zaporizhia nuclear power plant down here. These are the 4 nuclear power plants inside Ukraine. And if you guys want a little bit of trivia, yes, Zaporizhia nuclear power plant down here is the 4th strongest nuclear power plant in the world. Second largest in Europe, I think, or number 1 or number 2 for sure. But the Khmelnytsky nuclear power plant up here, right here, once that is actually completed, that will be the strongest nuclear power plant in Ukraine. But there is a transmission line from Rivne that comes along to Kyiv. And this is what is being attacked. I just was able to read that. Right here is the substation where they convert or transfer that power coming in from Rivne and then going into the Kyiv region to be distributed. So they are attacking that substation that brings the major power line from the Rivne area nuclear power plant towards Kyiv for distribution. Now, I remind you that, and if your guy, I know more people are jumping into the stream right now. Thank you. And then I want to go back and I'll check the chat with you guys. But if you're just getting here, it was only less than 3 hours ago, 4:45 approximately, 4:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, sitting at the desk of the president. This is what he said. Less than 3 hours ago.
There's tremendous hatred between Zelensky and Putin. Tremendous hatred. I mean, it's a shame, but it's taken longer than we thought. I did call up President Putin, and he's agreed. He's put it out to. They have the same cold wave that we do. Maybe different because it's pretty far away, but it's the equivalent. And Ukraine's a very cold country. It's much colder than us. It's colder than, they say, on average, it's Canada or colder. And on top of that, they have a tremendous cold wave. And I asked him if he wouldn't shoot for a period of 1 week, no missiles going into Kiev or any other towns, and he's agreed to do it. So it's something.
Okay, I'm not going to get political here, but it's just clueless. Absolutely clueless. That's less than 3 hours ago. And I'm very angry about it because we're supposed to be at peace talks, okay, in Abu Dhabi. Sorry, capitulation talks. Please forgive me. Capitulation talks in Abu Dhabi in 2 days, on Wednesday and Thursday, the 4th and 5th of February. So, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do a poll. You know what? If we're going live stream, let's just go live stream, guys. Let's do a poll, and this will be interesting. Start a poll. Do you think after these strikes that Ukraine should go to the talks in Abu Dhabi on Wednesday? Abu Dhabi, everything look good? Yes and no. Start poll. There we go. Let's do that, guys. Take a vote on that. Okay. Now, so if you're just joining the stream, that is what was less than 3 hours ago. And now this may turn out to be the largest strike of the entire 4-year war almost. And tomorrow, Johnny Pierce and I will be live streaming talking about 4 years of the war, and we'll have some special guests in, Mark and Elaine. It'll be really, really good. So, new, I know. Thank you for that incredible super chat there. I want Ukraine warm. I know. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Okay. I've been talking to so many of my friends, and it's already critical, guys, with the heat and the power. Okay, this poll's getting interesting already, and 82% no, 18% yes, with 250 votes. So we're about an 80-20 split. And there's two sides of it. I see you guys chatting once you make your vote, and that is absolutely not, of course. Let's just be angry and mad about it. I completely agree. The flip side of that coin is you go anyway, and you have all of this evidence. You walk into the talks, you play the video of Donald Trump 3 hours ago, and then you give the results of the strike. And that is your negotiation. And you say, okay, this is what we have. So Ukraine doesn't need to do anything that shows they're not willing to work. They need help. They need help. But absolutely, there's understanding why you wouldn't want to go. But they're in a very, very critical situation. Very. Now, let's go back to the map here, guys, and I'll keep updating you. Because remember, and as we go another 10, 15 minutes, I'll play the video again so people understand that this is just 3 hours after President Trump said there wouldn't be strikes. Now, in Kharkiv, we already have 30 explosions over the last hour and a half. 30. In fact, I'm reading straight from the city of Kharkiv right now. They fired everything possible at us. Drones of all types, ballistic missiles, aerial bombs, and rocket artillery. And that is a quote as of 19 minutes ago. And I'm referring to the city of Kharkiv. And remember, it was President Trump said no strikes in Kyiv and, also the other towns and cities. And if you're just joining, this up here in the red represents the 4 nuclear power plants in Ukraine. And we already have hypersonic missile strikes here on the substation, the power line connecting the Rivne nuclear power station to Kyiv. Now, let me keep going over here. Okay, now I've got more news for you. I don't want to change my map. Because I'm drawing on it for you. So let me do this, and that way I'll remember. Let's go purple for this and make it a little bit bigger, because I can confirm for you guys that we've had. Oh, I need purple. Well, that'll work. I can confirm for you that one of the strikes coming in here used Belarusian airspace. So we know that Belarus is complicit. It's just basically Russia. And we know that along the Belarusian border, there are communication towers that Russia uses to guide Shaheeds when it attacks out west. I don't want to really mark up my map here because I'm trying to be logical this time for you. And we know that Belarus was used on the initial invasion of Ukraine, and military trains there. The Oreshnik is deployed there. But we can confirm tonight that Belarusian airspace was used to strike that power plant. Okay. We've got drone striking civilian buildings in Dnipro, in Kyiv. Let me continue to check here. Okay. 1 minute ago. 1 minute ago. Let's change the color. And we'll go here, green. 1 minute ago, we now have a missile destroyer with 8 in the Black Sea. So down here at the bottom of the map, guys, we now have the first destroyer, or whatever they're calling it, has been deployed, confirmed. It's in the Black Sea. Now, I want to remind you of something that you may or may not know. These are not the strikes from these airplanes. Okay? Everything that I'm showing you here is only initial strikes. None of these missiles have been fired from these planes. They're still en route to the launch pads, or to the launch, that's what they call it, the launch pads. I showed you that over near Saratov. So all of these strikes are just the initial wave. Just the initial wave. And as you can see, if I take you back here, another entire batch of Shaheeds now around Kharkiv. So what they'll do, they'll float them Shaheeds around, gather attention, and then they'll send in a missile, or a ground-based missile, or bring in glide bombs. Or Kharkiv has already said they've launched everything, and we have Shaheeds again over Dnipro. Yeah. Okay, so I can confirm for you. Now, this is from military. I've got so many buttons here. I'm trying to keep up. I don't want a button. I want that. Ukraine just said we fully expect full barrages to come from the south, from the ships. But they're not there yet. You know, how I'm filtering through information I'm going to share with you. How three hours ago.
There's tremendous hatred between Zelensky and Putin. Tremendous hatred. I mean, it's a shame, but It's taken longer than we thought. I did call up President Putin, and he's agreed. He's put it out to. They have the same cold wave that we do. Maybe different because it's pretty far away, but it's the equivalent. And Ukraine's a very cold country. It's much colder than us. It's colder than, they say, on average, it's Canada or colder. And on top of that, they have a tremendous cold wave. And I asked him if he wouldn't shoot for a period of 1 week, no missiles going into Kiev or any other towns, and he's agreed to do it. So it's something.
All right. So, you know, and I hate just to keep showing it, but it needs to be shown. It needs to be shown that President Trump 3 hours ago, 3 hours and 5 minutes ago, made that statement. And we now are experiencing what may turn out to be, and we'll see tomorrow, one of the largest strikes since the war began. And I see you guys 77% and 23% on the poll there. And I think we all understand the different viewpoints. Let's once again, Adam Rounds, thank you for gifting those 5 memberships. And Nunu, once again, love to you. Pyro Kurt Brubaker, another one of our great mods here in our team. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Sorry, I won't be able to be here tomorrow for your live with JP. Got to work. That's okay, my friend. Dark Side, the Moon, 2 quid, has President Trump mentioned the bus bombing. No. There's been no mention of that. In fact, this is what was mentioned, and I know you guys don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. In fact, I've just got to tell you, I'm live now, and I used to be live every day, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, live. And I've pledged to the community to do more lives. You guys love them. Do more interviews with guys. I'm already working on some of those for February, and it's going to be really good. But I've got to be completely transparent with you. I don't want to see those videos either. And please don't unsubscribe or anything. Hey, Mertzy, stay warm up there, brother. Steve Sane, welcome to crew member Stud. Listen, I am a conservative Christian. And I do my very best to recognize that everyone has a valid viewpoint. My best friends in the world are atheist, hard left people. Not all, but I mean, Tamara, Johnny, and I, we're completely on different sides of the planet. But we love each other and we fight for what is right. But listen, I am so sick to my stomach that I barely can even talk. I'm so disgusted by this administration. I am disgusted by this cult that is personality driven. And I'm calling it for what it is. It is 100% evil. And not only the president of the United States, but he's just one of them, like Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un. Just nasty. And I'm going to take Dark Side of the Moon, 5 quid. Trump will want the 5 pounds. Yeah. Quid, I think. Nobel Peace Prize for the 3-day ceasefire. Yeah. Listen. Yeah. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but, and I don't want to change topics, but I have to get this off my chest. I'm sick about the Epstein files. I am physically sick. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I can't believe what I'm reading. I don't know even how to talk about it. I can't believe it's pure evil. It is pure evil. And it's not about your political persuasion. It's not about your religious persuasion. It is morally reprehensible and evil. And how any person, and I will speak specifically now about the President of the United States, how any person can specifically say, I never went there. I never had a relationship with this guy. I knew he was a fraud the whole time. Dude, you're dancing with him at parties on video. And you're going to try to sweep it under the rug, and Kash Patel is going to sit in front of the Senate and lie that there's no evidence about anything. You liar. I also I didn't want to go here at all, man, but now I can't help it, because you make this statement 3 hours ago about how powerful you are. I can call Putin. He told me there's going to be no strikes into Ukrainian cities. It's cold there. They said it's cold there. Who said it's cold there? You don't even know. And now Ukraine is experiencing one of the strongest strikes. And by tomorrow, trust me, if what is coming unloads, it will be the biggest strike with missiles of the war. I am so disgusted, and I'm sorry. But man, just humanity. And you what gives you the right? What gives you the right just to do whatever you want? And nobody's checking it. What happened to check and balance? What happened to our judicial system? What happened to the Statue of Liberty that says, give me your poor, give me your tired, give me your weary? What happened to Europe is our allies? They're our friends. No, we don't have any friends now. All we can do is make enemies. I know I've got a lot of international viewers in here, so sorry, but I'm so frustrated now, and I guess I'm triggered because it was just 3 hours ago making that statement, and now we're seeing hell unloaded on Ukraine. Russia's attacking the 750 kilowatt station, which connects Reeve, the nuclear power plant, to Kyiv again. Let me go back here. So if you haven't been watching, or you just jumped in, over here, Rivna's one of the nuclear power stations. There's a transmission line that runs in. This red box here, where the black lines and the blue lines are coming in, is under major attack tonight. It's being attacked again. The blue arrow coming in is strikes on that substation that flew through Belarusian airspace. The black lines are the Zircon strikes that came through out of Crimea and then out of Russia proper. They're attacking that. They've also attacked the Kyiv Thermal Power Plant 4, Dnipro, and I need to go back now. Never even got back over here to Kharkiv. Kharkiv tonight under the biggest attack, combined attacks since the war began. No question. It will turn out to be the biggest strike on Kharkiv since the war began. Period. Easy. Let me do some more checks here for you guys. So here's where it gets interesting. Right here. So this marker I use, I don't really like it, to be honest, because it's a little clunky, but it does remember what I drew last. So you can see where had Shaheeds earlier. So now they've already struck Kharkiv and Dnipro, and now you can see other Shaheeds have popped up. There are now Shaheeds right here. They're on the way to Chernihiv area, and they will come around, most likely, and head down the river towards Kyiv. There are other Shaheeds flying around Kyiv city. And if you look down here, there are drones flying out of Kherson region, and you know where they're heading. They're heading to Odessa right here. They haven't even been attacking Odessa yet tonight. So we'll check back on that in a minute.
Slava Ukraini.
Somebody just bought a coffee. I need to turn that layer over. Thank you for that. I missed it, but I'll catch it over here on another screen in just a second. Thank you. That was the sound you guys heard. You know what? Let's give one.
Slava Ukraini.
That's right. Thank you. So preliminarily, on the first wave of attacks, Russia launched, let's see here. Russia launched Zircon missiles from Crimea, Iskander-Ms from Bryansk, and I've covered all those on the map for you. Steve L., thank you for buying the 3 coffees. I wanted to make sure I caught that. Thank you, Steve. X-32 cruise missiles from Bryansk and multiple Shaheeds. This is all just the first wave of the attack. So black line down here is from Bryansk. Blue line from Bryansk through Belarus. Crimea was the launch from the south. And then we've had strikes into Dnipro. 15 explosions. Over 30 in Kharkiv. Kamiansky, we've had from one of our mods, Dunk, telling that his friends in Kamiansky talking about strikes or hearing or aware. It's still Dnipro, basically outside Dnipro. Kyiv, we also have thermal power plant number 4, which is located there under attack. I need to make that a little smaller. And I remind you again, nothing has been launched yet from these guys. They're in the air. They do not even come to their launch pads for 2.5 more hours. Okay, we have new strikes in Konotop. And if you guys don't mind, I'll just guide you through this because this is a big one. We have new strikes in Konotop. And I will tell you, this map is not zoomed in enough to show you Konotop, but I will mark it for you. And it's right about here. I've been in Konotop many times, right about there. And we've got residential buildings hit in Konotop.
Slava Ukraini.
Why is that not showing? That's supposed to show, so I'll get that. Thank you. Thank you, Bjorn, for buying 5 coffees. Thank you. Thank you. let me just show you guys. This is Kyiv right now. Just imagine. So let me ask you a question. In fact, let me check Truth Social here and see if the President of the United States has recognized that he has no control over Putin. No. And no, I do not follow Donald Trump on Truth Social. You can see there, I do not follow. I don't have to because he'll have it plastered everywhere in media. He's talking about Tommy Massey and Speaker Mike Johnson. Not only wasn't I friendly with Epstein, but this is all about a sleazebag wolf. Okay, I don't want to go down that hole again. Honored to speak with Modi of India. They're not going to buy any more Russian oil, he said. But I will tell you guys, India never said they're not going to buy any more Russian oil. So I promise you, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that India will be buying Russian oil. Let me get myself squared away here. Thank you, guys. On the poll, 76% no, do not meet in Abu Dhabi. 24% yes. Now 635 votes. And I get it. The anger is don't go. But that number's coming up. It was 80-20. Now it's 76-24. But it needs to. Ukraine's critically in need of help. So I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting to see what the public statements are coming out from A, Donald Trump, B, President Zelensky. Mertzy. Is there any uptick in frontline action? Mertzy, you know what? I'm going to the front line in just a few moments. I made the decision tonight I already told my wife and kids. I said I'm out for a while. So we're going to go look at the front lines in just a moment. Okay, new ballistic missiles on the way to Kharkiv. Let me show you this, guys. You know what the temperature is in Kharkiv? Minus 24 right now. So I got this message from Kharkiv where they said, the message accompanying it says, "Thank you, President Trump, for making sure that Putin would not strike our city with missiles tonight because it's so cold." It's under another attack right now. It's minus 24 Celsius. Minus 24 Celsius in Kharkiv right now. What is minus 24 Celsius to Fahrenheit? For all my Americans in here, that is minus 11.2 Fahrenheit. Minus 11.2 Fahrenheit is minus 24 Celsius. Okay, now this is I told you guys just a few minutes ago that I need to open this up too. Thank you.
Slava Ukraini.
Eric Taylor, thank you for purchasing the coffee there. Thank you so much. And Scotty, thank you for buying 3 coffees. I'm getting everything going now. There it is. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, now I need to go back to this because I'm in a Kharkiv message now, and you need to understand this one. Let me go back to this map. So I highlighted for you guys up here the city of Konotop, which is up here. All right, look at the top map, Konotop, and a residential building was targeted in Konotop. Okay. Completely private residential building targeted in Konotop. Just so they would be in the cold. Okay, now I need to get to one guy. Let me find him here. Let me read you this, and I laugh, but let me read you this, and then we're going to look at the front line. So, and then we'll go back to the air map. And I remind you, these guys are still in the air. This is nothing about these planes yet. This is all ground-based or mobile-based attacks that has done this much damage here already. And it is 3:12 a.m. in Ukraine. 3:12 a.m. It's dark. It's cold. Lots of places no power. So you're not going to get a lot of images and video out. But I'm getting the information out where the strikes are happening, and I'm passing that along to you. But one of the analysts I follow, this is just what he wrote. I'll read it to you, and then we'll look at the front. He writes, President Trump hours ago declared that the negotiations between Ukraine and Russia are progressing wonderfully. In fact, I'll play the clip for you.
And I think we're doing very well with Ukraine and Russia. For the first time, I'm saying that. I think we're going to maybe have some good news. We're losing 25,000 people a month are being killed in that war, ridiculous war. 25,000. It was 31,000 last month. Think of it. Young, beautiful kids, the kids of parents, their parents. It doesn't affect us in one way, but in another way, it's 25,000 souls that if I can solve it, we're not spending money like
Eastern
Biden
Standard
did.
Time.
He gave $350 billion away. I make everyone pay. And the United Nations, they're a little bit involved, but if you look, take a look at what's happening, the countries of Europe are paying us for
Would
the
somebody
weapons.
please tell me where the United Nations is involved? I wonder if he meant to say NATO. I don't know. I'm going off what he said. So back to the military analyst. He said, President Trump declared that the negotiations between Ukraine and Russia are progressing wonderfully. Please remind him that according to his own words, a couple of days ago, we were supposed to have an energy truce for 1 week. It was supposed to last through February the 4th. Unfortunately, the reality is much different. Even 2 days ago, there were quiet strikes on our energy. And I remind you that yesterday in Ternivka, where the bus was struck with shaheeds, they also were striking the coal plant energy. So this person writes, we now know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is their peace. We're thankful that peace has never been so close. Stop talking into cameras. while missiles are flying in Ukraine. That is the statement from one of the analysts I follow. All right, let me catch up with you here, and then we're going to go to the front. Okay. We've got a strike now on Zmeev, on a power plant. I will tell you where it's at. Zmeev. I'm giving you approximates because I don't want to zoom out or zoom in. Zmeev. Okay. So, Kyiv. Electrical substation connecting Rivne power plant. Multiple strikes with hypersonics. Using Belarusian airspace coming from Bryansk region and from Crimea. Green, we've got I'll just call it the ship loaded with a full salvo of missiles in the Black Sea. Dnipro has been struck over 15 times at energy infrastructure. This is Kamyansky. Konotop, residential buildings have been targeted and hit successfully. It's minus 24 degrees. Kharkiv, the largest attack. It'll turn out tomorrow since the war began. Earlier, it was a half hour or so ago, I was reporting to you and reading to you that they've thrown everything at Kharkiv. Every type of device they have, from drones to missiles, to MLRS, multiple launching rocket systems. And now right here, we can report that Zmeev in this area here, we now have 8:17 Eastern widespread power outages in Kharkiv, in the city. And it's minus 24. Minus 24. So there was 2 strikes on Zmeev. And I remind you guys, Zmeev here in this area below Kharkiv. Yes, I've been to Zmeev. Beautiful town. In fact, early in the war, I was in Zmeev. There you go. See how it changes? Now through Chernihiv region, new ones going to Kyiv, and coming through Sumy region. And right there, another missile coming to Kharkiv. It doesn't stop. New X-22 missiles have been launched from Bryansk. So I'll just leave this map up here, coming this way. 10 drones coming straight down the river. And you may ask, okay, Greg, how do they have all of this stuff? I thought they don't have anything. China, North Korea, Iran, their own war economy, ubiquity, United States of America, you name it. They've got it. There's no pressure. There's no, look, you guys just saw it pop up right there. Over Kherson, going toward Odessa. Trupilia. Let me look this one up for you. We've got a new attack on, and I hate to do this. You guys, this hurts my heart to do this. There's a new attack on Trupilia. I'll show you on the map where it's at, and then I'll zoom it out for you to see. Let's go here. You can see here Trupilia. I will just get rid of that. Trupilia here. All right, and this is in the Kyiv region. And they're going at the power plant here. So, you see that? All right. Let's do it that way. And I'll do this. We'll just leave it red. So, Trupilia is right here. Big power plant located there. The bend in the river. And this, of course, this is Kyiv. We've already had strikes tonight on the power plant here and on the substation here. This power plant here right now, south of Kyiv in Trupilia, is under attack by Shahed drones. We now have massive power outages in the entire Kharkiv region, and the amount of Shahed drones is now 50. Okay, I told you, 50 Shaheeds over Ukraine right now. And up to this moment at 8:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3:21 a.m. in Ukraine. And remember, these guys haven't launched. They're still in the air. We have 30 ballistic missiles launched tonight so far at Ukraine. And it's important to understand when I say 30 ballistics. So for the ballistics, this is the largest number of ballistic missiles launched in one night. There's multiple types of missiles, but this is the largest night of ballistic missile launches on Ukraine since the war began. They're attacking Zmiv again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying. Mods, thank you guys so much for keeping up with the chat. I'm trying to do my best there as well. But like, I feel guilty doing this. But I have to, because why do I have to? Because of this right here.
There's tremendous hatred between Zelensky and Putin. Tremendous hatred. I mean, it's a shame, but it's taken longer than we thought. I did call up President Putin, and he's agreed. He's put it out to. They have the same cold wave that we do. Maybe different because it's pretty far away, but it's the equivalent. And Ukraine's a very cold country. It's much colder than us. It's colder than, they say, on average, it's Canada or colder. And on top of that, they have a tremendous cold wave. And I asked him if he wouldn't shoot for a period of 1 week, no missiles going into Kiev or any other towns, and he's agreed to do it. So it's something.
Okay. I'm sorry, but that was 3 hours and 40 minutes ago. I'll keep playing it till the cows come home. I don't want to hear it any more than you do. But this is what's reality. And I can tell you that over here, Zmiv was just hit again. And now we have, let me change the color here for tonight. I got to find a different marker. I don't like this one. So this is the Kharkiv region here, guys, outlined in green. And we're having mass power outages in the entire region now of Kharkiv. X-22 missiles have just been launched. Yeah. So now there are X-22s that have been launched. I don't have the information on those yet, but they're in the air, targeting Kyiv. This is the current location of Shaheeds coming in from the north, as I told you, heading to Kyiv, heading to Sumy, Kharkiv. The ones below Kharkiv are the ones still going after the Zmiv power plant, all approaching Dnipro, Kryvyi Rih, coming through Kherson on the way to Odessa. That's right now. And I thank you guys for chatting in there and talking. Nathan Pohl, thank you for that. Is it true that Zelensky is out of the Patriot missiles? I don't know the answer to that. I can tell you for a fact they were out. Okay, they were out. And Nathan, that's really a good question, because they were out, and then the last thing Zelensky said was a few days ago they got some, but I can't confirm it. But I can tell you this, and I see chat talking about it. I can tell you this. I guarantee you that a massive amount of Patriots are prepared for Iran and the potential attacks there. How much supply Ukraine has, I don't know. I don't know. All right, so let me make sure we're completely caught up. I've got you on the drones. They're caught up. And now we wait for the second wave. So I want to do, we've been live now, hour and a half. So the bombers do not come to the launch decks for 2 more hours. But I do, Mertzi, I didn't forget. I want to jump in here now, and I want to talk about a couple of places on the front line. I'm going to use Andrew Perpetua's map here. Let me check this. And I also want to give a shout out to one of our mods, Blonde Bombsheller. She has a fundraiser going for a vehicle for Cars for Ukraine for the New Jersey Battalion. And yes, Project Constantine fundraiser, we finished, and we're just waiting for the videos back from the soldiers, and we will be doing an update on that, confirming all of that, what was they've been purchasing for the front lines. And but the soldiers we're supposed to be getting the video from have no power, and they're on position. So we just have to be patient with that. And I know you guys will be. So thank you. Let me actually do this. I'm going to use, I need a better, I'm just going to stay with Institute for Study of War, because I want to be able to show you guys a couple of things. This gives me just a better imagery to show you the cities. Okay. All right, let's do this, guys, while we're waiting. And thank you for everything. Uh-oh. Everybody buckle up. Papa Dutch is in the house. Ukraine's Patriot systems need European reloads of some kind. 100%. There he is, the legend. Papa Dutch. Ukraine's pages need European reloads of some kind. 100% there, my friend. All right, now let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to start just in the south down here for you, everybody. This, I want to stay zoomed in, of course. Crimea, just imagine this in your mind. We're going to come up and let me get rid of, ooh, I don't want to mess that map up. That's there. Man, I hope that doesn't go away. Maybe it, no, it won't. Yes. All right. Good news. All right. Let's do it this way. All right. Here is Kherson. Here is the city of Mykolaiv. On the front, one of the things that I can tell you happened. Kherson is under nonstop attack every day. Every day. And it's just artillery and drones. They're just looking across the river right at Kherson. So that's nonstop, and we know that. But I want to update you here. There is a highway that connects Mykolaiv to Kherson right here. It's called the M14. This highway has the drone nets on it. And unfortunately, well, I'll just tell you the truth. They were not built the best, and they collapsed a couple of days ago. So the road was completely blocked, but Ukrainians getting it fixed quickly because it allows safer passage from Mykolaiv coming down to support Kherson. So that's the story there, and they're already working on it. President Zelensky himself was talking about this city here. You may not know a lot about this city, but it's Nikopol. Nikopol right here. So Kherson, you go up the river, you come to Nikopol. Nikopol sits across from Enogodar, where the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant is. Nikopol is just devastated from shelling. It's just nonstop, everybody. You don't hear about this on people's videos or updates, and Mercy, thank you for reminding me to come in here and talk about the front real quick. Nikopol is a big city. Nikopol, Ukraine. Wonder what the pre-war population. Yeah, that's what I thought. I just didn't want to say it until I confirmed it. Nikopol, 100,000 people. All right, so just look here. Beautiful, Ukraine. Beautiful. Look at that. And that sign up there says Nikopol. That's the train station. That is now rubble. Look at that beautiful church. That's the city of Nikopol, sitting across from the river. It's thrashed. Look at that. Really interesting pictures here. This is Nikopol. This would be the Dnipro River before the Novokakhovka Dam was blown. Look at the infrastructure here and the beauty. Nikopol. This is Privat Bank logo here. What is that? MTS, which is a cell phone. Just the roundabout coming in. I mean, it's just classic. Look at that sunset. Beautiful. Stadium. Okay, so 100,000. Let me go back here. That's the city of Nikopol. You guys see that beautiful city? Do you ever hear about Nikopol? And President Zelensky mentioned it just 2 days ago in his address about how Nikopol was being struck. All right, so that's the south. Now, I want to zoom in to where we get to the non-river portion. And I remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that although, yes, we have a line on a map, that zero line is very hard to identify now. Let's do with this angle right here. So, Russia wants Zaporizhia, of course, and they have pushed hard here from the south. This is the town of Stepnogorsk, now occupied by Russia. And they've pushed up and have presence. It's contested area on Primorsk here. And you come straight up the highway here, and you're in the city of Zaporizhia. And ladies and gentlemen, just in case you don't know, Zaporizhia is a massive city, over 1 million people. And someone, Sweden loves Ukraine. Thank you for purchasing those. No, let's see here. From Sweden, loving in Australia, and then into language I don't understand. Thank you for those coffees from Sweden. Living in Australia, I bet, maybe. Or loving in Australia. Thank you regardless. So, Zaporizhia, massive city. Maybe I should do for you guys what I did here on Nikopol. This is Zaporizhia. Look at that. Beautiful. I know that road right there like the back of my hand. It's the central street in Zaporizhia. All right, guys, I feel like I'm almost reminiscing because I'm really disgusted tonight that basically 4 hours ago, the President of the United States said there would be no strikes on Ukraine for a week, for a few more days, because Putin told him he wouldn't. And now we're witnessing the largest strike, or one of the largest strikes since the war began. And then about an hour ago, or 45 minutes ago, I'm sorry, but a lot of you were here. I went into my Epstein file, discussed. And then when I start talking about these cities, it just brings imagery to my mind. And you need to see what's being destroyed. Look at this. So this picture here is of the central government building in Zaporizhia. And this photo was 100% taken out of the window of the hotel in Turist. 100%. This is the Central Park on the right. All of this is now boarded up, struck, shelled. There is the massive, that's called the Dnipro hydroelectric dam, been struck many, many times. So when we talk about these cities, look at that. Now you see reality. And I haven't previewed these images. I'm just clicking these through from Wikipedia. 7 zones of the city. Classic picture of Ukrainians marching. Very industrial city. Look at the plants and the infrastructure. And then those are the loaders where the big ships would come in, be loaded. Guys, it's all struck. It's all hit. Drama theater. I've been there. Look at that. Zaporizhia International Airport. This is the Vokzal. This is the train station. Pat Yates. Exactly. Thank you for those coffees. Difficult to say something on a night like this, but thank you for all you do. The hurt you feel is felt by more more of us than maybe you know. I know it is, and thank you for that, my friend. Look at the soccer stadium. Oh, I think I met that guy. So Zaporizhia, guys. All right, let's go back here. So this is the city, over 1 million people, Ukraine defending it, but Russia wants it. And they're getting close. What this means here on the front, when they get to positions like this, and even if we come back to here, they can now strike Zaporizhia with FPV drones. And they are. They can strike with just regular artillery, and they have gobs of it. And, you know, people sometimes say, oh, well, they got that artillery from North Korea and it's old stuff and 50% of it doesn't fire right. And then I always ask, okay, so what's your point? They have the stuff, and let's say a system is loaded with 18 and 9 misfire. 9 don't. They strike. And that's such an argument of lunacy. They have stuff. I mean, we heard today Medvedev talking about, maybe you missed it. Guys, let me play this for you. Medvedev straight out saying, North Korea, thank you. Certainly, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea is our ally. And an ally not just on paper, but in practice. Of course, I cannot help but say once again that we are grateful, thankful for the contribution made by Koreans fighting side by side with our soldiers, fighting heroically. And this will never be forgotten. This will forever remain in the chronicle of our relations, our friendly relations. Yeah, so it's okay. They can just gloat. And you know what's interesting? And I've got a couple of super chats I want to get to here. And then I have updates for you on new information on strikes. And we'll keep going on the map. And if it's okay for you guys, I'll just keep streaming for a while. Dmitry Medvedev can come out and say, you know, we're so thankful for the North Koreans. We're so thankful that they stood side by side us, fighting in this war. But today, the Kremlin, and I will basically quote it, Dmitry Peskov making an official statement. I didn't cover it in a regular update video. He came out and he said, it is a reminder to the world that Russia will not accept one foreign soldier on Ukrainian territory. Not one. Not possible. But Medvedev on the same day gloats and praises the North Koreans for fighting side by side. Why can't leaders call it out? And not only President Trump, why can't leaders of the European Union, Mark Rutte, stop licking the boots of Donald Trump and bold up, man, and say, you know what? It is not acceptable that Russia says that we honor the North Koreans for fighting side by side. Not International Legion, North Korean groups. And you guys know it, it's old news, fighting for us. Merz, Macron, Starmer, Peter Pavel, Kaya Kallas. Just say it. If you think it's okay for North Korea to fight with you, then we're just going to bring everybody. It's just such a double standard. And it's because we have spineless, weak leadership. Spineless. Let me tell you what spineless is. Once again, I remind you, I'm a conservative Christian. Spineless is a taco narcissistic MAGA meathead who puts out tweets, if one shot is fired, if one protester is touched, we're going to bring hell to Iran. There are thousands killed because you said that, you coward. That's it. Oh, we did a massive operation on Venezuela. They didn't even fire a shot. It was, come on. Oh, we're going to take Greenland and get the penguins. There's no penguins in Greenland. Oh, no, I didn't say Greenland's going to be the 51st state. Canada's going to be the 51st state. Greenland, the 52nd, and Venezuela, the 53rd. You see, it's typical narcissistic bullying behavior when you pick on somebody smaller than yourself, you coward. And I'm sorry to say it, our president is a coward. Ridiculous. Hiding. Letting Medvedev say, oh, North Korea, so awesome, those guys fighting for us. Why don't you come on your press conference and instead of saying, man, we're that close. We're making great progress on Ukraine and Russia. It's not my war anyway. It's Biden's war, and it's 350 billion, Oh, there's not going to be any strikes. Putin promised me. Excuse me, I need to go dust the picture that I hung of Putin in the West Wing. There's a little bit of dust on it. You coward. I would love to tell him to his face, you are a coward, sir. Why don't you stand up and say, okay, you gonna bring foreigners? We're gonna bring foreigners. I think I have lost it tonight. I think I've lost it. And I'm sorry. I try to stay much more straight and not be emotional, but I know tonight people are freezing in Ukraine. People have died in Ukraine tonight. 3 hours. You say, well, how do you know people have died? Guys, with that many missiles hitting already and drones, people have died tonight in Ukraine. And our president said nobody's going to be striking because Putin told me. It's great. We're almost there. We're that close to peace. Meanwhile, we see what's happening. Thank you, Bob Hudak, 7979. Great coverage always. Thank you. And David L. Greg, please help me. Thank you for the super chat, David L. Greg, please help me understand how the world, at least the U.S., turns its head and ignores current events. How are so many so cruel and uncaring? David, I don't think that's it. And thank you. Let me answer that, and then we'll go back to Zaporizhia. I think people care. I can't find anybody that doesn't care. It's just these idiots that are running the world. And now when I see the dump of this Epstein and I start seeing connections between Moscow and Tel Aviv and DC, and you see, okay, even if 99% of it's wrong, which is not, and only 1% of the Epstein files are true, it's absolutely viciously evil. It makes me think I'm watching The Blacklist and there's some cabal running the world, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I am disgusted by what I'm seeing. So, to David, people care. It's these leadership idiots. That make decisions. So they're hitting Zaporizhia, and they want it. You may, okay, Greg, question: how long does it take, or how far is it from where the Russians are into the southern Zaporizhia here? Just a few kilometers, guys. It's from right here at the circle, there's a circle here, down to the bay. It's a 10-minute drive. It's nowhere, just a few kilometers. And then you have a main road coming down to Kamyshavaka, key city. And then you come down to Orikov, another key city. About Orikov, about 10,000 people pre-war. So decent size. Kamyshavaka, probably 4,000 pre-war. Beautiful little towns, but just destroyed. And Russians are coming up. Down here is where Robotny was, the famous battles of Robotny. And this is a very key area, guys, because you see here, right here, they just want to close this gap off to Kamyshavaka, close this off, and then assault on Zaporizhia. And if you're just joining now, you look at that and go, what on earth is that? It's a lot of black lines, but this is Zaporizhia. And it's really important. And, you know, this is the famous area of Guliapol, which majority of it has fallen, if not all of it. Russia, this was a fortress city. And just so you know where we're at, Guliapol right here. This is Zaporizhia, so we've just come around to this area. But this right here, fortress city for Ukraine for so many years, but finally just the pressure. Now, I will tell you up here, Ukraine is making some pushbacks in certain areas. But overall, there's just constant pressure. And this is on this southern line here that comes into Pokrovsk and Mirnograd, which has been the largest battles. Majority of Pokrovsk under Russian control. Not 100%, not 100% of Mirnograd. Regions of it contested. I can zoom in and show you. Ukraine pushes back in certain areas, but it's really, really just tough. And this is all like gray. You know, here, Institute Study of War colors it as gold, which they actually call it leaning pressure for Russia, meaning it seems Russia has more pressure than Ukraine, but it's not red, which means Ukrainians are there fighting. So I actually prefer gray, but this is fairly accurate here. And you can see Pokrovsk and Mirnograd. What we used to have here was, you know, this horseshoe. Budaki, thank you for those 5 coffees there on Pokrovsk, the city, and Mirnograd, twin cities here. Pre-war, 100,000 people. So if I put that there, 100,000 people. Pokrovsk and Mirnograd, it's a big area, and it's destroyed. You say, well, you know, they're Ukraine, Russia fighting for it. It's destroyed. It's absolutely destroyed. It will end up looking like Bakhmut and Chasiv Yar and Siversk and Toretsk and Avdiivka. It will just be gone, leveled, uninhabitable. And that's what they're doing. The next town that in Ukraine, just north of Pokrovsk, guys, key town of Dobropilia, 14,000 pre-war population. Yeah, all these numbers are in my head. 14,000 pre-war. And, you know, Russia had a lot of pressure on this, and Ukraine was able to make a counter push here back. But down here is Pokrovsk, and they're trying. They want Dobropilia because it will cut off key supply lines that push over to the backside of Drushkivka and Konstantinivka. And even now, the supply lines are having to come in more from the north on rural routes. So if we look here, zoomed out a little bit, this is where Ternivka is. This is where the bus was hit. This is the key road from Pavlograd that comes into Pokrovsk. And now your supply, actually coming up through Lozova. And I'm not giving you OPSEC, it's public information. And then comes down into the backside here to supply Slavyansk, Kramatorsk, Druzhkivka, and Konstantinivka.
Slava Ukraini!
But you see all of this, Rich, thank you for those 2 coffees. All of this is being cut now. And this is why Dobropilia here, Dobropilia, is such a key battle. And this is why Ukraine fighting so hard to hold on to some portion of Pokrovsk and Mirnograd. Next key area, and then I do have updates on the strikes, guys. I will give that to you in a second. Let's finish this little pocket here. This is the belt. This is the belt. So I've got it at the perfect zoom. Let's do this, and let's leave it on black. Okay. I am outlining for you now the Donetsk region. And it goes up into there, and it continues on. So if we just take it from the gold, okay? This will help you understand, and then just do it like this roughly. Okay. So when the United States or others are talking about Ukraine giving up the Donetsk region, this is what they're talking about, meaning Slavyansk, Kramatorsk, Druzhkivka, and Konstantinivka, plus Dobropilia, all these other towns and villages here. Russia is requiring that Ukraine fully withdraw. So just so you understand, when they're talking about, or you see it on updates or the news, we're talking about, okay, Donbass and the Donetsk region, Ukrainian army must fully withdraw. That's what you're talking about. It's not real. This is a fortress right here. And that fortress is under major attack. And that fortress is being destroyed. Druzhkivka, Kramatorsk, Slavyansk, and Konstantinivka under massive, massive attacks every day. Let me do what I did for you guys here on other cities. I'll just do Kramatorsk. Look. That's Kramatorsk. Okay. I've been there so many times. Let me tell you, that building you're looking at right there, in the central square, the fountains, see the central road. Look how beautiful that is. And big. This is just the central area, Kramatorsk. Destroyed. That building is hit so many times. It's destroyed. That beautiful governmental building right there in the central square. Absolutely destroyed. And this is what we're talking about. It's just not real. It's just not real. So if I'm looking here, right there is the best way to look at it for you. Hopefully it helps you understand better. Slavyansk, Kramatorsk, Druzhkivka, and Konstantinivka. Konstantinivka, guys, is starting to look like Bakhmut. Bakhmut's right here. Famous Bakhmut in Chasiv Yar. Siversk, held for so long, now fallen. Russia pushing. They want this belt right here. And I can't even describe how much infrastructure, power plants, mines, factories, you name it. It's a power belt. You combine all those 4 cities together on that belt road, you have a large metropolitan area. It's a large, large, large area. And it's under massive assault. So now hopefully that helps you understand a little bit better on when you hear everybody talking about, oh, well, okay, we're just going to be giving that up. No, we're not going to be giving that up. That's not how it works. Let me give you this final piece here. You really need to pay attention to, and I hope this helps you, Mertzi, and everybody else. So this is where the push across Ukraine line, this is where Volchansk is. And of course, this is Kharkiv. So guys, you can see how close it is to the border. 30 kilometers. Very close. You could drive from Kharkiv, if there was no war and no border check, you could drive from Kharkiv to Belgorod in under 90 minutes. That's how close these cities are. And this is Belgorod, Russia, that Ukraine has absolutely smashed and blacked it out on multiple occasions. And Belgorod is the area where I covered about 10 days ago, where the governor and the mayors were telling people to get out of Belgorod, go to Belarus. Yeah, because they're getting smashed. But it's just nonstop. Very foresty up here. Very foresty. Very foresty. Huge groves of trees. And then, guys, Sumy is here and Russia pushing here, making some advances across the borders on Sumy. So that's where we're at there. I hope that helps you guys understand. I haven't done that in so long, and tonight it needs to be talked about. All right, let me give you some final updates here, and we'll see where we're at. Nathan Pohl, $10. Hit the button, Greg. You mean that button?
Слава Україні!
There you go, my friend. Glad to hit that button all the time. Nathan Pohl, 569. I agree, Greg. Trump is a coward to any country that has an army or nuclear weapons. Heroim Slava. Yeah, exactly. And that's what everybody's talking about. I have so much in my head right now. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it was the bully syndrome. You know, you bully the small nations, but you know, the ones that nuclear capable, different story. Adam Rounds, Trump makes Nixon look like an angel. Brother, let me tell you something, Adam. $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Trump makes Nixon look like Jesus. And that's coming from a preacher. All right. Ryan Howe, Canadian 20. Keep up the good work and show the world the truth. Russia invading Ukraine is clearly the most black and white war currently going on. Yet it's disturbing how many in the West deluge themselves by believing lies. Absolutely, completely agree. And Larson, 7937, DKK 100. Greg, your emotions tonight are fine. Reminds me so much of Pete. Lars runs. Why you do that? Thank you. I'm okay, brother. But you're right. You know what, guys? I was just talking to Pete's family about completing that Project Constantine Pete's Dream, and we got it done. And as I told you, we'll be updating on that. But you know what? Tonight's the night. Tonight's the night. All right. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give it a few more minutes. And please do not click and drop out on me. I'm going to play 2 video clips. And then I'll check the updates. All right, because we've been streaming 2 hours. Okay. It's time to play this again. And yes, I have permission to play this. Okay. We know that tonight Ukraine is under the most, potentially the largest attack since the war began. We do know that the most ballistic missiles have been used tonight since the war began. That's already reported, and the planes haven't even got to the launch areas yet. Okay, just ground-based. We know the ships are in the Black Sea ready to launch. I haven't even looked to my right on this monitor over here yet to see the next update. We've been doing the front lines, but I'm going to play Donald Trump one more time. And I know you say, Greg, please don't play that again. Please don't play that again. Trust me. Trust me. Just trust me. One more time.
There's tremendous hatred between Zelensky and Putin. Tremendous hatred. I mean,
4
it's a
hours
shame,
ago.
but, it's taken longer than we thought. I did call up President Putin, and he's agreed. He's put it out to. They have the same cold wave that we do. Maybe different because it's pretty far away, but it's the equivalent. And Ukraine's a very cold country. It's much colder than us. It's colder than, they say, on average, it's Canada or colder.
Who is
on top
they?
of that, they have a tremendous cold wave. And I asked him if he wouldn't shoot for a period of 1 week, no missiles going into Kiev or any other towns, and he's agreed to do it. So it's something.
Sir, here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's what I'm going to tell you.
I'm ashamed to be a Westerner. I'm ashamed to be a Westerner. I'm talking to planet Earth today. I'm talking to Western governments today. On behalf of my Commander-in-Chief, President Volodymyr Zelensky of the sovereign, peaceful nation of Ukraine, I'm absolutely ashamed to be a Westerner today. What in God's name do you think you people are doing, drip feeding and delaying this desperately needed ammunition for Ukraine? What are you trying to achieve? Do you not know that God sees everything that you are doing? Do you think there are 77 virgins in paradise waiting for you? There ain't, mate. There ain't. There is no paradise like that. Tens and tens and tens of thousands of civilians have been butchered and are being butchered in this genocide, and yet you people just dilly and dally and pussyfoot around. God help me, I'm ashamed to be a Westerner. I'll stop calling myself South African because that shitty government aligned themselves with Putin. Everybody in this country asks me where am I from, and I say I'm British. I'm talking to all Western governments today. I'm a medic in Ukraine, and we are shitting ourselves over here. The fucking front line is crumbling left, right, and center. How dare you dilly and dally like this? Imagine these were your children being butchered out here. Put yourself in Ukrainian shoes for once. Get your act together, man. Your policies and your bullshit. Fucking support this country. We are being terminated, exterminated. I'm ashamed to be a Westerner.
That says it all right there. That says it all. Alex Kyria, $5, €5. Hey, Greg, keep up the good work. Heroes out there need this small contribution more than I do. Thank you, Alex. Whew. I think there's some in the chat that never heard that before. You know, so Pete was my brother. That jacket's right there. I gave him that In God We Trust patch. And that was that was what needed to be said tonight. Linda S. from Australia will always love and respect Pete, an angel that now has his wings. Let me tell you something. 100% legend. Steve Cousins, I've never seen that. I hadn't, and I thought he was speaking today. Wow, that video is hard. Oh my, guys. Okay. I just assumed, but of course, oh my. I'm just reading the chat. My first time watching Pete. Okay. You know what, Adam? I think you're right. Okay. All of you guys out here. Well, let me do this. I'm going to play it again for you. And I'll give you the update in just a moment. So this was my friend and your friend. And Peter was South African, but you heard him there denounce that. And moved to the UK, was a police officer. When the war began, he couldn't take it because he was bothered by the children having to endure war. So he went and volunteered in Ukraine. He founded Project Constantine. So if you're new to the channel and you heard us talking about over the last month, let's finish Pete's dream. It was Pete's dream. This is Pete for Project 22. And June the 27th, 2024, Pete was killed in the line of duty. And I was in Ukraine and had to deal with his funeral. In fact, if you go back to July of last year, his mother told me to. His sister's brother, Greg, stream it. We can't be there. So I streamed the service, and his fiance at that time, Galina, and Ukrainian heroes, and Zhenya and Anna, I'm just calling names that made it happen. Pete had a state funeral right on Maidan, right there. But he gave his life, and this is from the BBC, British founder of a charitable organization providing support to frontline soldiers in Ukraine, has died like a hero in the battlefield. Pete Fouché, 49, from Fulham, West London, died on 27th of June while working as a combat medic on the front line in East Ukraine, his organization, Project Constantine, said. And we scattered Pete's ashes exactly where his mother told me to, in eastern Ukraine, near to where he gave his life. And he was my brother. But, his mother came and visited him on the front lines 1 month before he was killed. She was 87 years old and went to the front. From South Africa, went to UK and then into Ukraine, traveled all the way to the front lines. We stayed with Pete many, many times, and just a hero. So, for those of you in here that have never seen that's what the Project Constantine fundraiser about, and this is Pete. And I think, Adam, I'm going to do that. I'm going to play that video one more time. I'm glad people are getting to hear it. Pronounced Fulham. Thank you, Alice, there. Thank you, my friend. Fulham. I'm learning. Here we go.
I'm ashamed to be a Westerner. I'm ashamed to be a Westerner. I'm talking to planet Earth today. I'm talking to Western governments today. On behalf of my Commander-in-Chief, President Volodymyr Zelensky of the sovereign, peaceful nation of Ukraine, I'm absolutely ashamed to be a Westerner today. What in God's name do you think you people are doing, drip feeding and delaying this desperately needed ammunition for Ukraine? What are you trying to achieve? Do you not know that God sees everything that you are doing? Do you think there are 77 virgins in paradise waiting for you? There ain't, mate. There ain't. There is no paradise like that. Tens and tens and tens of thousands of civilians have been butchered and are being butchered in this genocide, and yet you people just dilly and dally and pussyfoot around. God help me, I'm ashamed to be a Westerner. I'll stop calling myself South African because that shitty government aligned themselves with Putin. Everybody in this country asks me where am I from, and I say I'm British. I'm talking to all Western governments today. I'm a medic in Ukraine, and we are shitting ourselves over here. The fucking front line is crumbling left, right, and centre. How dare you dilly and dally like this? Imagine these were your children being butchered out here. Put yourself in Ukrainian shoes for once. Get your act together, man. Your policies and your bullshit. Fucking support this country. We are being terminated, exterminated. I'm ashamed to be a Westerner.
So, perfectly stated. And here's Peter's jacket he was wearing. He pointed at that. He said, I'm from the UK now, and that was his 67th patch. And Pete's call sign was Hasta la Vista. Hasta la Vista. There's his In God We Trust. I gave that to him. And his Project Constantine patch and his Ukrainian flag. And his mother gave this to me. My friend. And I have to listen to President Trump tell me and tell you that he called Putin and there'll be no strikes. Ridiculous. Let me tell you the last couple of things here, guys. This is directly from the mayor of Kharkiv. Directly from the mayor of Kharkiv. Kharkiv is experiencing a prolonged attack on its energy infrastructure. Our city has been under attack for over 3 hours, and all strikes are specifically targeting our energy facilities. This is directly from Igor Terekov, and he is the mayor. The enemy's goal is to completely destroy our energy system. Due to the damage to the infrastructure tonight, we have been forced to drain the heating system of 820 residential buildings, which receive heat from one of our largest heat and power stations. We have to do this to prevent freezing and the complete destruction of our network. The current temperature is below minus 20 degrees. This is a difficult but necessary step. We have no other options. We have 101 resilient points. They will open around the clock, where those residents can come warm up, drink hot drinks, charge their devices. If necessary, we will open additional heating points immediately. There will be disruption of our public transport. We will launch additional buses if we can. All emergency municipal services are operating the city, and decisions are being made continually. That's Harkiv tonight. Papa Dutch, $5 super chat. For Pete's sake. Exactly, for Pete's sake. Erling Cedar, Bear Jenny Debort, 9517, gifting 20 memberships tonight. Thank you for that. Robert G, $20. I wish our felon or charge had some empathy. 100% agree. Jay Moore, 1999, super chat. Thank you for that, Jay Moore. I saw Leah B2, $10 super chat. Maybe a request we haven't seen before, but please put this towards having stuffed animals made from the clothes of a fallen defender for their child, if possible. Well, I will tell you this. Zhenya has done lots of camps, and children of fallen defenders have been there, but I've never seen a project like that. But that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. It's been a tough night, guys, but we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. I've been sharing with you for the last couple of days that this is what we expected. And it's almost like it's uncanny, because within minutes of that statement by Trump, this attack started. Ryan Howe. As I said, Putin can be trusted with truth and peace as much as Scott Ritter at a preschool. It turns out Putin and others like Trump have the same mindset. Correct, man. Correct. Thank you, Ryan Howe. Phil Hensey, welcome to crew member. Niels Clement, member for 23 months. Thank you, Niels. Just not good. Taco is a moral vacuum. If only believe trillions of oil were just found in Western Ukraine. Exactly. Let's see here. What did you say there? Niels Clement, Pete's video should be played in the European Parliament. I completely agree. Pete's video should be played in the White House. Andrew Petrie, yes, Pete was a super cool human being. 100%. But what is the mineral deal? Who said that? The real. Yeah, your name is at the real bastard. All right, let me give you an update right now, guys. So here's what we have. The planes are still en route. They do not come to the launch pads for another hour. And now a fifth Tupolev 95 has taken off. Okay. So this is what I've been talking about for a couple of days. All of these strikes have been prior to the planes actually coming to their launch pad. And also, we also have the ships in the Black Sea. Let me go back to the map here. This is what the strikes have been so far tonight. We have right now 10 Shaheeds over Kryvyi Rih right here. We have confirmation of, and remember, it's 4:25 a.m. and no power, difficult communications. We do have confirmation tonight of 2 have been killed in Kyiv so far. So what we have right now is multiple planes in the air, still en route to their launch pads. We have man, this is crazy, guys. Zaporizhia was just hit. It's unbelievable. No, it's believable. Sorry, that's right here. Zaporizhia was just hit. The hydroelectric power plant in Zaporizhia was just hit. Let's do it this way. This way. I can do this, that. Right here, I'll go to layers. Okay, so see this, the hydroelectric power plant here. Let me close this off. In fact, we can do this. So this was just hit right here. See the power generation right there? This was just hit in Zaporizhia. This is the big dam. I remember I showed you the pictures. Maybe I'll go back and show that one more time. But this is Zaporizhia City. Yeah, how big it is. But this is the dam right here that I just showed you. The power plant is right here. Public information. That's what was just hit in Zaporizhia. So, I don't know how Trump will respond to this. I don't expect anything, to be quite honest. I don't know how Zelensky will respond to this, because this is not just one strike on, a substation in Kharkiv. This is an absolute assault on the entire energy grid of Ukraine. Let's go back. I want you to see what was hit. I think I had it here. It was in these pictures here from Wikipedia. Let's go through. Right there. There it is. That's the dam that was just hit. In fact, if you look right here, right there, can I draw on that? No, I can't. It's over here on the left side, right here. Right here on the left side. That's where the power generation is I was showing you. So that's what we have. Planes still en route. And that they're another hour from the launch pad. And right now, this is the calm between the storm. Thank you, guys. I will keep you updated and do the best we can. Been a tough night. Very, very tough night, but we knew it was coming. It will be interesting to see what sorry, guys. I got different screens over here. I'm checking. I've been rolling for 13 hours on this today. There was one thing I was going to check for you guys before oh, there it is. Let's see if no, of course not. You coward. 0. Of course you're not going to say anything. Of course, you're not going to say anything, Mr. Trump. And no, I do not follow him. His last statement 5 hours ago, complaining about Tommy Massey. That's what happens when you have egg on your face and you have a picture hanging on the wall, the West Wing, the man who is absolutely responsible for this tonight in Ukraine. So, well, guys, thank you. I will do everything I can to keep you updated. It's a tough night. It's a tough night. And for those of you that have joined the Discord tonight, thank you. For those of you that have commented, thank you. For those that have gifted memberships, those that have super chatted, for those of you that met Pete for the first time, I'm glad you had the honor of meeting Peter Michael Fouché tonight. For those of you on the other side of the planet, enjoy your day. Australia, New Zealand, we have lots of Australians and Kiwis in here, part of the Hope Train. And those of you in Europe, thanks for staying up late or being up in the middle of the night. You guys that are watching Ukraine, to be yellow blue. And I don't know, it's just tough, man. I'm really struggling with this one because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but we stand on. Thank you, guys. Steve Cousins, 1205. I'm in New Zealand. I know lots of folks. Thank you, guys. Be blessed. We'll keep you posted. And, two more Tupolev 95s have just taken off. So we have 7 Tupolev 95s in the air. Maybe tomorrow, 4671. Thank you for being here for us too. I think I speak for most. We all have heavy hearts, so it's be easier being here with all of you wonderful people. I agree with that. And I've already made the decision, guys, to increase the frequency of the lives because there's just too much cohesion and just a great community. And I used to do a live every day and then changed the format and then occasionally, and now it's just too important because, you know, all we have is each other. And I just hope this is a place where we can come together and bring all viewpoints together and lay down our differences and accentuate the things that make us stronger together. And for sure, one of those is supporting what is right in the world. And for sure, standing with Ukraine is right. Thank you for all you do, guys. Be blessed. And we'll keep you posted. It just keeps coming. Now another Tupolev 95 is taken off. I don't know, guys. I'll be watching it. May go live again. I don't know. We'll definitely keep you posted. This is a tough night, but we stand with these people.
Слава Україні!
That's it. Thank you all. Have a good night or a good day.